Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, which was the first film from the brand new sequel trilogy for Star Wars directed by J.J. Abrams, who does a really good job actually in terms of blending together old and new by bringing back older vehicles, older characters and older storylines from the beloved original trilogy and kind of mixing them together with new characters, new vehicles and new storyline opportunities, and while still respecting all of the source material. So he does a really good job from that point of view. My main issue though with The Force Awakens is that it doesn't necessarily try that many new things. It plays it very safe, follows the very standard blueprint for a Star Wars film, and it just doesn't necessarily push the boundaries enough for me to enjoy it. And that being said, I just feel like the next two films obviously improved upon this, and love it or hate it, I just feel like the one thing that you can't argue with the prequel trilogy is that it does take risks, it does try new things. Some worked, some very much didn't, but at least it tried. And I just feel like with The Force Awakens, it just doesn't play it too safe, a little bit too much. And also, I just feel like some of the casting choices, I personally just wasn't a big fan of. So, some of the characters I couldn't necessarily relate to in The Force Awakens. But that being said, it is a fun movie. The visuals look absolutely incredible, and I'm going to break down exactly what I think of it in this movie review. Now, as far as the plot of this movie goes, I just feel like it's really just a modern day retelling of Star Wars A New Hope, which is fine because it has all of the nostalgia things there, but it just would have been nice to see them kind of push the boundaries a little bit more. But anyway, let's go through the main storyline strands for The Force Awakens. So the first one is all about Rey becoming a Jedi. Now, I really like the character of Rey because she's a real unassuming scavenger who really has a bit of a strong connection to the Force. She gets mentored by Han Solo, and then she has her rivalry with Ben Solo / Kylo Ren. So I just feel like the journey and the story / character arc of Rey is a really cool one in The Force Awakens. So the next storyline strand is all about Finn escaping. Now, the concept of a stormtrooper turning good I thought was absolutely brilliant. A stormtrooper is obviously part of the evil team, and somebody who joins the resistance I thought was absolutely excellent. But I just feel like John Boyega was the wrong actor to play Finn. John Boyega is a brilliant actor. I just feel like he was miscast in this role. The next storyline strand is all about Han Solo, and I just feel like Han Solo totally owned it in this movie. He was a brilliant character in this film, and I just thought he was such a brilliant character played by Harrison Ford that kind of really well blended the old and new elements. He had all of his old makeup character from the original trilogy and just slotted into the new trilogy so well. So he was absolutely brilliant, and I just really loved how he kind of regained the Millennium Falcon. He's still getting up to his old tricks in terms of owing people money and trying to negotiate with them, and then it just snowballing into a massive situation, which is just absolutely brilliant. I really liked the mentor role that he had with Rey, very similar to Obi-Wan. I really liked how the character was growing up at the same time. And his relationships are really cool as well, in terms of his relationship with Leia, his friendship with Chewbacca, and his fatherly relationship with Ben Solo / Kylo Ren. So I just feel like the Han Solo character was very well rounded, brilliantly slotted into this new trilogy, and just had so much nostalgia with him. So it was just a brilliant addition to The Force Awakens. The next storyline strand is all about Ben Solo / Kylo Ren and his journey to the dark side, him being a bit of a wannabe Darth Vader, his kind of rivalry with Rey, his kind of mentor relationship with Snoke, and his fatherly relationship with Han Solo, which led to that very emotional scene happening towards the end of The Force Awakens. The next storyline strand is the classic Resistance versus the First Order storyline, and this one was a little bit boring actually, because it was just such a rehash of the Death Star situation, but this time they're just trying to kill the Starkiller base, which was just such a rehash from A New Hope. And then the final storyline strand is all about trying to find out what happened to Luke Skywalker and them traveling the galaxy to kind of put all the clues together using the map that BB-8 has, who was just such a brilliant addition, by the way. And then kind of the partnership between BB-8 and R2-D2 is really cool. So, overall, these storyline elements within Force Awakens were really cool. Some better than others, some of them being a bit of a rehash, but overall, they were really, really cool elements in this movie. So in terms of the characters and actors in this movie, I think it's a little bit hit and miss. All of the OG classic original characters from the original trilogy are absolutely brilliant. With the new characters and the new actors, I just feel like some are a bit hit and miss. But let's go through them one by one. So let's start with the original characters first. So Harrison Ford, like I said before, I think did a brilliant job as Han Solo. He just recaptured everything about this character and just presented him in this movie so well, in terms of really recapturing his rebellious side, in terms of bringing the charm from this character, in terms of being really smooth, in terms of getting people to owe him his money and all of that sort of stuff. So I feel like that was a really cool side of his character in terms of bringing that back. His relationship with Chewie and Leia was really, really cool. I really like how they grew up the character as well, in terms of being a bit of a mentor figure to Rey and a bit of a father figure to him as well. So I feel like, you know, that side of his character was really, really cool. And then his relationship with Ben Solo / Kylo Ren was just incredibly emotional, incredibly believable as well. So I just feel like, you know, Harrison Ford did an excellent job as Han Solo. Next we have Carrie Fisher as Leia, who equally did a brilliant job with this character as well. She has such presence when she's on screen as well. Really steals the moment and just, you know, presented this character really, really well as well. A real tough cookie and just a really cool leader for the Resistance as well. So it was really nice to see Carrie Fisher back as Leia. Mark Hamill as well was cool as well. Hardly in it, but really brought new meaning to the word kind of jaw-dropping finale. So really ended the movie on a high. We then have the new characters, so let's go through them one by one as well. So first up we have Daisy Ridley as Rey. Now Daisy did a really good job as bringing the character of Rey to life. Somebody who doesn't really know that much about themselves, somebody who's having a very strong connection to the Force, and is very free-spirited, kind of going with the flow, going on this journey, finding out more about herself, finding out more about all of these different characters, getting lost into this whole Star Wars world, which is really, really cool and really kind of leads the audience really, really well. Her journey throughout the 3 movies definitely got better as it went along, but you know, I feel like Daisy led the movie franchise really, really well. We then have John Boyega as Finn, and like I said before, I love the concept of the Finn character in terms of somebody who's on the dark side and then comes onto the light side. So the character of Finn was really, really cool. I just feel like John Boyega was the wrong actor to play this role. I love the diversity, love the character. I just feel like John Boyega's performance wasn't the best in this film, and I just feel like it was a bit miscast in the role. We then have Adam Driver as Ben Solo / Kylo Ren, and similarly, I just feel like he was miscast in this role. I love the character of Ben Solo / Kylo Ren, somebody who's on the light side and goes onto the dark side, kind of like a modern day Anakin Skywalker, but this time is the son of Leia and Han Solo. So I just feel like conceptually this character was really, really good, but I just feel like the role was too much for Adam Driver, and you could tell in his performance. But you know, that being said, the character at least was really, really good. We then have Oscar Isaac, who did a really good performance as Poe. Not really in it that much in the first half, but then when he's in the second half, you can just tell that he's a modern day version of the Han Solo character, being quite rebellious, being a bit full of himself. So, you know, brought a lot to the table, and similarly to Rey's character, definitely grew a lot as the movies kind of progressed. It was really nice from a Druid's point of view that they gave BB-8 a lot more screen time than the others, because he was a brilliant addition. It was really nice as well to see R2-D2 and C-3PO, but there were definitely more background characters in this movie. So, you know, from a characters and actors point of view, some better than others, but overall, they led the movie really well for Force Awakens. Now, from a visuals point of view, this movie looks absolutely incredible. I remember when I first watched it on the big screen, I was just blown away by how incredible the whole Star Wars world looked in this sequel trilogy, and it's definitely the best one from all of the movies in terms of the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy just looks absolutely incredible. All of the battle sequences, all of the space sequences, all of the lightsaber duels, all of the chase sequences, everything just looks absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, it doesn't make up for some of the casting choices and the repetitive story narrative, but that being said, the visuals in this movie look absolutely awesome. In terms of comparisons, in terms of the storytelling narrative, I much prefer the Anakin Skywalker storyline narrative from the prequel trilogy. So from a storyline point of view, I definitely prefer the prequel trilogy to the sequel trilogy. But like I said before, from a visuals point of view, this is absolutely awesome. And in terms of being the first movie in each of its respective franchises, so comparing it to New Hope and Phantom Menace, I definitely think The Force Awakens is the best first movie from an equivalent trilogy. So from that point of view, it is definitely the best one. I'll do a video later on where I rank all of the Star Wars films, but for now, I definitely think The Force Awakens is a strong entry. Overall, I did enjoy The Force Awakens. I feel like I was trying to jump on the whole nostalgia bandwagon a bit too much and was using this as an excuse to not try new things, so that was a bit of a shame. But that being said, the visuals were awesome in terms of being the first opening movie to a particular franchise. It was really, really good. Some of the characters are a bit hit and miss, some of the storyline elements are a bit hit and miss, but overall it is a fun movie and it's definitely one to watch if you haven't seen it already. So for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.